Hello, everyone. And today's agenda is something like this. We have picked some topic which we want to discuss. There are some questions around it, and we will do practical about this thing. So, first thing is array. So, the question should be like, what is array? Why we use it? And how to use it? So, in any concept, right, programming concept, there should be three questions. If you are learning any concept, this question you should ask to any trainer, or you should ask to yourself, or you have to find the details about it, let's say in internet, right? So what is array, why it is required, and how to use it? How to use it? So array is sequential way of arranging the data. It's very simple, right? In English also, English, normal English word also we used array of something, correct? It's same in programming also. The only thing is it is sequential way of arranging something. Okay, simple thing. But then, why? Why it is required? Why we want to arrange something sequentially? Why we want to arrange it? So there are multiple answer to this, and array solves lot of problem also. Okay. The very basic problem is, let's assume in a class there are 10 students. Okay. In a class there are 10 students, and you want to store the data of those 10 students. Okay, so let me make a new class here, and I'll give the name array 10, 10, something like this. Okay, so this is a very basic programming structure which you will see here. We have a class, then main function, right? Now let's assume you want to store the uh, roll number of 10 students. So what you will do? You will say int A is equals to 100, int B is equals to 101, int C is equals to 102, and so on. Because you want to store 10 integers, 10 values, right? So you have to store it in this way, one of the way. But it's very difficult then to remember all the variable names. So and so on. So I'm writing in this way, you will store 10 um, roll numbers. Okay. In 10 different variables. In 10 different variables. So here when we say variable, A is the variable, B is variable, C is variable. So now it's very difficult. If there are 100 students, then you have to remember all the variable names, correct? If there are 1,000, 10,000, it is going to be very difficult then to create those many variables and remember also, because somewhere you have to print also, right? Somewhere you have to do some calculation maybe on based on this roll numbers, or you want to print it, right? So it's difficult then. As of now it is just three, so you may say that no, it's very easy, I am able to remember A, B and C. But let's understand the real world programming or the real world application. There will be thousands of students or thousands of employee ID which you want to store, correct? So now array solves this problem. What array says is that don't worry about, um, you know, you have to worry about data only. Don't worry about the variable name, right? So what array says that declare in this way. You can declare a single thing, let's say R. Give it name, let's say R, and bracket and say new int and whatever size you want to give. Let's say 3. As of now, we want to store 3. Let's make it simple. We want to store 3 roll numbers in 3 different variables. So here, what it says that you declare it like just R here, right? Or any name you can give, right? And then you can put the values based on the index. So R0 will be the first value. So the same thing which you are doing here, you can do in this way also. R1 is equals to 101. R2 is equals to 150. So this is like, if anybody will declare something like this, let's understand what happens in the background. So when you declare an array in Java or any programming language, right? It's like this, let's say. What happens in the background? It creates sequential memory locations, right? It allocates sequentially the memory, right? So it's like this. So it will create 3 boxes, okay? And the reference name is R, okay? The reference name is R here. Um, and the index, so the places will be identified based on the index value, okay? It's like this. So all the places will be identified based on the index. So what we will say is this particular location, this one, this particular thing is basically R0. Okay, this is R0. This will be R0. Okay, in the same way, this will be R1. This will be R2. Okay, this is value. This is basically what it is. It is actually value. 0, 1, 2 are the indexes. Okay, index. And these are all interlinked in the way that the address of this, where it will end, the next address will start. So for example, very technically I'm saying that, for example, this integer, every integer takes 4 bytes. Okay, 4 bytes. So let's assume if this particular location is address 2004, let's assume. So this will be 2008. This will be 2008. Why? Because this box R0 will take 4 bytes. So I'm I'm then, 2004 is the memory address. Let's say every address takes 1 byte. So I'm saying that this box is of 4 byte size. It's like this. And so on. This will be 2012. Nobody will ask you this thing, but if you are a computer science student somewhere, in computer organization or computer architecture, you must have seen this thing that there are row measure order, column measure order in two-dimensional array. But when we are talking about one-dimensional array, it's very simple. It's like this only. Okay. So now, coming back to the program, if I store it like this, I can work. Means then I can say, let's say I can say integer w is equals to r1 plus r2. So if you want to retrieve the value, it's very simple. You can write it like this. So what will be w? What will be w? W will be, what is the r1 value is 101, r2 value is 102. So addition of both the number is 2003. Okay, it's printing me 2003. Fine. So this is single dimensional array. But again, the problem is how to parse the array. See, here is just 3 values. Let's say there are 30 values. So will you like write R, print R0, print R1, print R2, print R3? No, no, no. You have to do something systematically. Let me go back to agenda. So we talked about why it is required. Why it is required? Because you want to arrange the data in a particular way, and it resolves a lot of problem related to when you have lot of similar kind of data you want to store. So you can store it in one shot. One shot means you just have to give one variable name instead of having A, B, C, D, X, Y, Z, or lot of variable names. It's just one. Okay. So it will be arranged like this. So you have to just remember R. So this is R0, R1, R2, like this. So index starts with 0. Okay. Fine. Then the question is, if I want to print all these values, correct? Is there any simpler way? Yes. So whenever you work with array, you have to understand that for loop will be very handy. For loop will be, you know, a good thing to parse through the array. Okay. So for loop is very simple. In for loop, you have to say from where you want to start. So I want to start with one index value, which is 0. Okay. And I want to go till the index value will become 3 and x plus plus. I am not going into syntax part of for loop. This is not the agenda for today that I'll talk about the for loop part or the syntax part of it. For that, if you want to go, we have those videos, right? So if you see here, I have already put it here in session 15 and session 16. Okay, fine. So now if I want to print, I will simply say R of X. Why? Systematically, X will start from 0. X is less than 3, true. So it will come here, it will print R of 0, then R of 1, R of 2. It's like this. Once X value will become 3, it will come out of the for loop. It's very simple. Fine. So this is about basic thing about array. Okay. So this time, if we will print through the for loop, it will print those three values. See here, it's printing 101, 100, 101, and 102. Fine. Okay. So the next part here is syntax part. I have already talked about that. You have to declare syntax means array like this. So here you have to say what kind of data type the array has. That means what kind of data you are going to put. So if you will make it like character array, you have to put characters only. Okay. So for example, how to declare character array? You can simply say char bracket the name of, let's say, sections is equals to, you can directly say like this also. Let's say uh, T B D. Okay. That is also another way of declaring array. So here it's like you're saying that I have a character array and the values are this. This is one way when you know the value, right? Another way is like this, char section, and you will say new char 3. So you want to store three values. So you will declare it like this. Okay. So it's like character array. You have to store only characters then. You cannot store any other thing. And you have to put it in single quote because when we say char, it's a single character. Okay. You can have string arrays also. So you can declare like string name, or you can give anything, right? So here I can say f name or the first name bracket is equals to new string, and then yes, let's say 5. So I want to declare string array, and then you can say f name of 0 is equals to Nitesh, let's assume, and f name of 3 is equal to uh, q. let's not fill all other values. Okay. So we are supposed to put five values at fname 0, fname 1, fname 2, 3, and 4. But let's assume we are not doing it in that way. So now, if you will print all the values, you can say for integer w is equals to 0, w is less than 5. So whatever is the size of the array, right? You should put it like less than 5 because you want to go from 0 to 4 index w plus plus. And then I can say I want to print f name of w. So this will print Nitesh in testology, but you will see, okay, there is an error. What is the error here? What is the error? So whenever there is error, it will show you. It's saying duplicate local variable. Oh, did we have W already somewhere? Yes, here. So that is also a good thing to learn here, that because W is already used, you declared it at 19th line, you cannot again say int W here. So let's change here. We will say W. Instead of W, we'll say integer E. And I will also change here. So now it will resolve one more problem, that, or the doubt, that when we are not filling the value, what value will be assigned in string array. So if you see here, F0 is Nitesh, F1 is null, F2 is null, F3 is QA testology, and F4 is sorry, fname 4 is null. So whenever you are not putting any value, by default in a string array, the value will be null. Fine. It's a simple thing about the array. Now, 2D array. So before I go to the 2D array, I'll talk about for each loop. So this is for loop. There is one more way you can use the looping thing. That is, you can directly say for the string, you can take any variable, let's say b colon, and what was the array name? F name. So we'll put it like this. And to here, if I say system.out.println b. Okay. So what we are doing here, it's saying duplicate variable. Let me take L and let me take it here. So this is a kind of for each loop. Okay. What it says that you don't have to worry about when to stop, right? And what to increment or decrement. It's like this. When you just want to go one by one from 0 to end of the uh, length or end of the array, you can do it in this way also. You don't have to worry about index part. So how it will work? Let's understand that part also, how this will work. The thing is, when you are saying um, for each loop, how it works is, it checks this part first. Okay. If there is any value, it will assign it to this. It's like this. And if there is any value, it will assign it this, and it will, whatever you want to do, you will be doing here. It's like this inside this for loop block. Once this will come to the end, it will again go here and will assign the next value to this. It's like this. Okay. So here, once it will reach to the end of the array, it will stop automatically. You don't have to say that when to stop and all, right? So I have commented the previous code. Now, if I'll run the code, let's see what will happen. Same thing, it's printing me this. Fine. So this is how for each works. It's up to you whether you want to use it or not. Um, this is conventional way how we did it. This one, like conventional way of writing for loop, or you can write while loop also. This is another way. If you understand it, use it. If you don't understand it, or if you have doubt about it, don't use it. Yeah, it will automatically start from 0th position. It will automatically go till the end when you're using it like this. Okay. Okay. Somebody asked about the break and continue. That's a good question. Let's understand break and continue now. Okay. We will understand it through one more program. I'll make a new program here. Break, continue, demo one. As the name itself is break and continue, that means break means it puts a break somewhere, obviously, right? Continue means it's saying continue something. Okay. So break and continue is generally used in between loop or switch case. So first example we will see for the loop part. Okay. So let's declare one simple array. So I'm saying EMP ID, integer array EMP ID, and I'll put some employee IDs. Let's say 201, 202, 207, random thing I'm putting 222, 226. Let's have some more, and that's fine. So I have employee ID array, and there are 8 values. Fine. One more thing to understand today. Let's say there is a big array and you don't know that how many values are there, right? You can use one function which is length. Okay. So if I'll say empid dot length, this will give me how many values are there. Okay. So if I'll do that, you will see that it is printing 8. That means there are 8 values. Okay. Fine. So length is a function which you can use with the array name, and you will get it how many values are there. It's not like what values, it's about how many values are there, or what is the size of this array. This length will show you. Fine. Let's understand about break first, because that is interesting part first. Once you understand break, then only you will understand what is continue. Okay. So here I'll say for integer u is equals to 0, u is less than, it's better to use this now, right? Because you should not hard code the length, right? When you're using it, it's like whatever is the length, it will work for that. You should not write here 8, 7, 9. It's a good practice to write the length. Okay. Mm, when you're writing it like this, okay, just a minute. Here I'll write u plus plus, and here let's print all the values. So system dot out dot println emp id of u. Till here, anybody has any question till this point? You guys are able to understand it, right? What we are doing. If you have any query, let me know quickly. So, okay, you don't have query. So we are able to print it, right? All the values. One by one it will print. So EMP ID of 0 it will print, then EMP ID of 1, EMP ID of 2. In this similar fashion, it will reach to EMP ID of 7, and that's why it is printing at the end 990. Simple thing. But the question is, what is break then? Break. So based on some condition, you want to break. So for example, let's say you want to say, hey, I want to print all the employee ID whose employee ID are less than 500, less than 500. So you can put if here, if, or you can say this whenever it is increasing the employee ID greater than 500, just break at that point. So what I will say, if EMPID of you is greater than 500, you will be you are saying break. Break means come out of the loop. Break means come out of the immediate parent loop. It's like this. So this time when I'll run this, you will observe that it is printing only till 6. My bad. It should be less. Uh, just a minute. Yeah, greater than that's fine. So what it is doing, when it is checking that once the 665 is done, then it is breaking, right? So just a minute. I should put it here basically. So you will see that only all the employee IDs which are less than 500, that only will be printed here. See here, right? Once it reached to 665, we are saying break. Break means don't do anything further. Whatever we are writing here, don't do anything further. Just come out of the for loop. So it will come out of the for loop. That means it will reach to 21st or 22nd line. Okay. Very simple. Simple one. This is break. Wherever you will write break based on the condition, it will come out of. So if you will write here break just at the start of the for loop, so it will not make any sense. You know, if somebody will ask you what will happen when you will put break here, it will not make any sense. But basically, once it will come reach to the first line, it will come out of the immediately come out of the for loop. It's like this. Okay. So break should happen based on some condition only. Fine. I'll give you one example about sequential search, so you will understand what it is. Now the question is, what is continue? Okay, we'll see one more example. Don't worry. There you will understand what is break and continue. One more example I'll give. Let's understand what is continue then. So for example, same thing. Let me comment it here. I want to. I'll make you understand through one more loop. So let's assume that I want to print just this first four values. Let's assume I want to print first four values. So you can do it programmatically. You will say int c is equals to 0. Fine. And I'll say while, let's say I want to go till the end, but I, I want to skip some values. That may be the case. Like I want to skip first four values and then I want to print. That may be also the case that I want to skip first four values. So then you can use continue. That I'm going to show you. So while C is less than what was that? EMPID dot length, and then you can say C++, and you will say if C is less than 4, you want to say continue. Continue. It's like this. Okay. Otherwise, you will say system.out.println EMP ID of, of C itself, right? But I don't want to do C++ here. Just a minute. I want to do C++ here. Fine. Okay. 0 less than, so it will go here, but this will be indefinite loop, right? Infinite loop, because it will always C is less than 0, continue. It will go here, it will not do anything. So it's better to have the example with just a minute. To for loop, if I'll explain, it will be better. So let me write it in that way. C is less than EMP length, C plus plus. If C is less than 4, continue. It's like this. And that's it. I'll debug this also so that you will understand. So this time, what it will do is first 4 value it will skip. See here, it is printing directly from 226, 455 and all. It this is our array, right? I'll explain, don't worry. Fine. So let's concentrate on this part. What we are doing here, we have one array. It has these values. Fine. And we are saying that C is 0. Fine. 0 is less than the length, which is 8. Fine. It will come here and it will say, okay, C is 0 is less than 4. True. Continue. Continue means go back to the for loop. Break means come out of the for loop, and continue means go back to the for loop. So it's checking what is the current value of C. So it will go back and it will increase the value of C. Now C is 1. 1 is less than 8, true. 1 is less than 4, true. Continue. So once the C will become 4, right? Then only, this if will not work. So let me put a debug point. You will understand what I'm saying. So I will run in debug mode now. So you will understand what is happening. So initially, the value of C is 0. Fine. 0 is less than 4. So now it will go inside this, continue. And you will observe that when I'm doing step over, it is going back to the for loop. See here. It is not going to the line number 19. So whenever you write continue, it goes back to the start point of the for loop. It's like this, the signature part of it. But now C will not become 0 again. C plus plus is written here, right? So C will become 1. So the current value of C is 1. 1 is less than 4. It's coming here because it's true. It will go back. Now C will become 2. See here, 2. Now 2 is less than 4. Continue. Then C will become 3. 3 is less than 4. Yes. Now C will become 4. 4 is less than 4. No. This condition is false. So it will go to its else part. We have not written any else, but we have outside if body, there is some statement. So it will come at the 19th line now, and it will print EMP ID of 4, right? So 4 is 226. So it should print me 226. If you see here, that is printed 226. Now C is 5. 5 is less than 4? No. So it will not go inside this continue. So it will print the next value, next value. So I'm not doing all those things. Done. So this is continue. This is the example of continue. So it goes back. And break means break at some point. It's like this.